already know what it is. All right, man. Welcome back to Trust Talk. You already know what it is. Thank y'all for clicking the video. Today's episode, I want to talk about something that I've seen online. This female says, when you think you respect yourself, but you actually don't. Signs of you respecting yourself. You think you respect yourself, but you actually don't. And I didn't watch this. I just seen the clip. And I want to actually see what she says. From a woman's perspective, I think that this is actually pretty good. So let's get to it, man. Let's do it.
Welcome to Trust Talk, where we keep it real.
All right, man. Thank y'all for joining me. I truly appreciate y'all for clicking the video. So let's get right to it, man. No more talking. If you want to subscribe to the page, make sure you subscribe, like the page. Trying to get this page monetized. But it's not even about that. It's just about the content over here, be honest with y'all. So let's get it.
Today we're going to talk about signs someone does not respect themselves, but think they do. Those people that think they respect themselves, but actually don't respect themselves. You see it in the way they act, the way they talk, the way they project. You can just see it. A lot of people think that they respect themselves, but their behavior says otherwise. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what they do. The first thing that people do is they tolerate things just to avoid discomfort. I don't know why people do this, but they would allow people to walk over them, talk to them anyhow, just because they don't want to approach the person or confront the person. And I feel like
that's actually a pretty good one. A lot of people do avoid confrontation. It's not that they don't, in my opinion, it's not that they don't want to actually talk, but some people don't care enough, and some people have an actual plan. So let's say you're in a relationship with somebody and you just don't care enough to actually confront them about certain things because to you, it's either not that big of a deal or it's not going to go anywhere if you do confront them. You know what I'm saying? Now, you also got to ask this question as well, too. What is the definition of walking all over somebody or whatever? Now, I understand y'all know what that is, but for some people, and it's going to sound crazy, but some people like that type of behavior. Some people like when people take advantage of them. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. Some people do like that. But I guess she's speaking in the scope of, if you don't like it, why do you tolerate it? You know what I'm saying? And that's a very good question. That's a very good question.
I made a video about confrontation. If you guys watch that video, it's in my playlist or something. If you guys watch my old videos, you'll see me talk about confrontation. And a lot of people are afraid of confrontation because of their comfort. They're too comfortable where they're at. They don't want to approach the person. They don't know how that person is going to react. So they will tolerate anything. And sometimes I know there are some people you got to read the room. There are some people you just walk away. You don't say nothing. You just let them be. But I feel like there's a difference between letting them do something to you and you walking away. You walking away is you creating boundaries or just saying, you telling your body like, I can't take this and I'm just gonna walk away. But then you...
Well, yes, that's true. That's true. But again, you also got to take into consideration that a lot of these people who do deal with that type of stuff, they probably came into it from a relationship of abuse or verbal, mental, financial, whatever abuse you can think of. They probably came into that. So a lot of times people don't want to go back down that path. And people coming into things, they do bring their destructive ways as well. It's not just the other person. So sometimes when you do confront people, you go a little bit overboard. I think a lot of people don't take that into consideration, that the person that's allowing people to do these things to them, they can actually be more aggressive than the person that's doing it. So sometimes they just avoid the whole thing as well. I don't really think that actually connects to them not respecting themselves. I guess if you want to say they respect themselves in the scope of, let's say, this person allows you to do it. But there's a difference between, to me, tolerating something and allowing somebody to do something. You know what I'm saying? And it could sound the same, but to me, it's a little bit different. Let's keep
just tolerating things because what you just don't want to feel uncomfortable or you're scared of how that other person is going to approach you is two different things. So People that say they respect themselves would never tolerate things just to avoid discomfort. A lot of people that say, I'll let that slide just to keep the peace, is you not respecting yourself. I know a lot of people.
I disagree with that. That has nothing to do with you not respecting yourself. Sometimes it's better to keep peace than actually go to war. It has nothing to do with respecting yourself. No, that has nothing to do with that. Sometimes you can draw a wedge between each other when you do convert or confront confrontation, because everything don't have to be a confrontation. You can actually talk about things, or there's certain ways you get about it. So if I say I let something slide, that doesn't mean I don't respect myself. You know what I'm saying? And to me, I could say I let that slide, but I'm going to handle it a different way. You know what I'm saying? Now, maybe you're saying, well, if you handle it in a different way, that means that you saying that you respect yourself. But sometimes, and I'll be honest with you, sometimes it's good to let things slide. And it depending on what it is, let's just say that. Because you don't let everything slide. But some things like, all right, let's say my wife comes in and she says, you never take the trash out. And I know that I take the trash out every day and I miss one day. And she says, you never take the trash out. And I say, you know what? I just take the trash out. That's me letting it slide, right? Now, if I come back and say, I do take the trash out every day, and she comes back and say, no, you don't. Yes, I do. No, you don't. What is all that for? What's the point of that? I get it that you might say, okay, you got to fight it out. But for some people, they already have their mind made up. You can't change their mind when they already have their mind made up. So I don't think that has anything to do with you not respecting yourself when you say let things slide. Now, it could be something big, like let's say somebody cheated on you and you say, I let that slide. That's something different. But it's not everything. You know what I'm saying?
Come for me for that, but sometimes you just can't let things slide. Like if someone says something, you got to check them right there and then. You can't let that slide because they're going to do it over and over and over and over. The first time they do it is them trying to see where their limits is. Like, okay, where the limit is at. Can I keep going? Can I stop going? Like, you know, is she going to come for me? Is she going to check me? And then once you check them, they'll be like, oh, you're doing too much. But
I disagree with that too. I don't think people go into a plan. Some people go into something thinking that, well, let me see how far I could take it. If you're dealing with somebody like that, then that's the person you selected, whether male or female. If this person is basically, if you know that this person is testing you, and now some people don't, because she could be right about that. Some people don't know that people are testing them. They don't know. But if you already know in your head that this person is testing you, then you already know what type of relationship you in. And I think you should avoid that at all costs. You know what I'm saying? But checking somebody couldn't be disrespectful on your part as well, because what if they didn't mean it the way you think they meant it? You get what I'm saying? So you have to be real careful about being insecure on how you checking people. Because if you check somebody and they didn't mean it the way you thought they meant it, you look like the crazy one. And I think she was about to say something like that. But you do look like the crazy one. That's why I don't believe in checking people. You know what I'm saying? Well, yes and no. Let's just say that. But I would actually rather have a conversation about something than actually checking. And if you want to say that's a way to check somebody, but if you come out of nowhere, let's say I'm playing with you and you say, don't do that. Don't you ever do that. You say you check me, right? But then that also leads me to believe that I can't play with you a certain way. Now, what if to me it wasn't that serious, but to you it's very serious. You get what I'm saying? But it also takes the fun out of everything, because now I'm walking on eggshells when I approach you to certain things. So it ain't always what she's saying, like, oh, to check somebody right away, like, because sometimes you checking people can show the side of you that's insecure. You get what I'm saying? And there's things that you need to work on when it comes down to being what's the name? Then I might have to check you for trying to check me over a joke. You get what I'm saying? So keep going.
Never let things slide. People that say they could let things slide, most times people don't respect them. They're like, oh, well, I just leave it for that person. Oh, I just leave it for that person. That person's just gonna let it slide. I could talk to him or talk to her however I want to. So the first thing is, don't tolerate things that you know that you don't like. Don't tolerate random things. Don't tolerate things that you feel in your soul that you're not happy about. If somebody said something to you and it hurts you, you better speak up for yourself. If you don't, they're going to continue to disrespect you. And then even if they say, oh, you're doing too much or you are overreacting, let them say that. Let them say whatever they want to say about you. But if you feel within yourself that you don't like it, your gut feeling is like, I don't like this. I really don't like the way this person spoke to me. And most of the time, the way you know you don't like something is when you go back home and you think about it and you think about it and you think about it. That's how you know that it bothers you.
That also could mean that you're insecure. If I make a joke to you and it severely hurts you that bad, you don't need to be in a relationship with me. If I say something to you that you got to go home and think about it, it really hurts you. If I disrespect you, that's something different. That's something different. But see, you got to understand something. And I think that she probably ain't going to touch on this, but I will. There's a such thing as called microaggression. And a lot of people don't look at that as something serious. So a lot of men or even women, they might do something or say something to you, or they might do something that's so small that you go home and think about it. Now, who's the one who's really insecure here? Let's say, I don't know. Let's say I keep long fingernails, right? And you say, you should cut your nails. I'll never cut my nails. And then you go home and you think about that and you say, I don't like that. I don't like that he don't cut his nails. It all depends on what we're talking about. Because it has to be something that, to me, for you to go home and think about that, it has to be something serious. And I'm talking like, I'm talking about knocking on disrespect door. That's what I'm talking about. Because if you're talking about something like a regular joke or something like that, no, you shouldn't be going home thinking about that. This is just how I feel. Ain't no way in the world when you're trying to get to know somebody, there's always going to be things that you're not going to agree with. And I agree that there's going to be things that you probably going to dislike. But at the same time, you have to understand that you're in a relationship with someone, and maybe they have to understand that there's certain things that you ain't going to tolerate. But if it's something like a joke and I feel as though it's not that big of a deal, who are you to tell me that it is a big deal? That's where the conflict comes in at. Because now I'm looking at it like, I like the lights being on. You hate the lights being on. We have to come to some type of compromise. If you go home and then you call me and say, I hate the fact that you like all the lights on in your house. This is what people do. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but people get aggressive over things. And on top of that, you also got to ask yourself, is this something that was carried over from your past relationship? Are you looking at me, because that's a problem as well? Are you looking at me the same way your last person did to you or they said to you? If I say something similar, maybe it's something that you like. Let's say, I don't know. Let's say I hate the fact that maybe your feet stink, right? And I say, damn, man, your feet stink. Don't talk to me like that. My last told me my feet stink. Or maybe your feet actually stink. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes when people make jokes or they say certain things, because I'm speaking in the sense of if the person isn't disrespecting you. I'm not speaking in the sense of if they're disrespecting you. Because if they're disrespecting you, you're right. But you don't have to always offend somebody by saying things because sometimes we make jokes and they're not offensive or disrespectful in my eyes. But to you, they might be because of something that you went through. Maybe you need to get the help. Maybe you need to go you're checking me over something that you're insecure about. Especially if it's a joke. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, so let's see what else she
Don't
says.
think about it over and over and over. That means that it didn't bother you that much, so it doesn't matter. But if it bothers you, you'll talk about it, think about it, dwell upon it. So as soon as you feel that feeling and you don't like it, confront the person right away. Tell the person, hey, I don't like the way you said this, and I'm not gonna tolerate that next time. That's someone with self-respect. You speak up for you.
Again, that to me, that's you're taking something and you're putting it as a blanket statement on everything. I totally disagree with that point of saying, like, if there's something you feel and you tell, I won't tolerate that. Like, so then it comes a thing now. It's a thing where, especially if it's a joke, now I can't joke with you because now I have to walk on eggshells. And who wants to feel like that in a relationship? And a lot of times we get these people who are very, very insecure in a relationship, and they think that when someone says something to them, when someone says something to them, they don't know how to tolerate it because of what happened to them in the past. It's a lot of things that they probably been through, and they just don't know how to tolerate it. So when you come across a person who's funny, who's doing all that, and then they might do something that you don't like because it reminds you of somebody else, I believe that that's your insecurities talking. Maybe you need to grow up. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So I'm only giving pushback on this. And I'm not saying that the woman is wrong in her assessment. If that's what she wants to do, that's fine. But I'm saying if it's not in the realm of disrespect, at least to me, if I call you out your name, that's something different. You know what I'm saying? Except if I say something like, "Oh man, your feet look like claws. They look like eagle claws. Look at that," and you get offended by that. Either one, someone else told you that, or you really do believe your feet is ugly and you're insecure about it, or you could say, "Yeah, my feet is. I need to go get my feet done." But that's a joke. It's not. Your feet actually don't look like eagle claws. But again, this is what people, they take this and they run with it. And again, I always go back to what I said about people. They look for reasons to have a confrontation. A lot of people don't want to just have a smooth relationship. And that's not me saying that you should just tolerate anything. I'm just saying, like, you should be able to have a conversation about whatever. And you should be able to joke with each other. Because if she's speaking from the realm of disrespect. I'm not. I'm speaking from the realm of people being in relationships and being able to actually have a good time with each other without it being a conflict. You know what I'm saying?
The second thing is they over-explain their boundaries. People that over-explain their boundaries is someone that does not respect themselves. You don't need to over-explain what you said no to. If you created that boundary and you said, hey, I don't like when you do such and such, and I need you to change that, you don't need to explain to that person why you said what you said. Stand on business. If someone...
That's totally wrong. No. You're no different from the other person now. That is 100% wrong. You should never say that you don't have to explain your position. So basically you're saying if you don't like something, you shouldn't tell me why you don't like it. So if let's say, and this is why I say a lot of relationships fail because of this type of mind state, what she just did. Now she could be in a great relationship with her boyfriend or whatever, but I'm saying with this mind state here, I think this is why relationships fail. It's not me over explaining myself, right? If I say I don't like something, I'm gonna tell you why I don't like it. But see, what she's saying is if you don't like something, it should just be that. No, it should be that because I need to understand why you don't like it. Now, if you're talking about tomorrow, if I keep explaining myself, or the next day if I keep explaining, I agree. You shouldn't do that. But if I say to you, hey, I don't like when you put too much salt in the food. And you say to me, why? And I say, because I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Lights went out. It's crazy. Because I don't like it. I don't like that. It's like, that's a confrontation within itself. You know what I'm saying? So that's not something that it should be, how would I say? That's not something that should be it should be listening. The lights went out. It's crazy. But that's not something that should, I would say, that's not something that should be, let's just go, because I lost my chain of thought because the light went out.
Respects you, your boundary does not need a paragraph. People that don't respect themselves accept inconsistent treatment. Like literally, they're going to accept anything that you say, anything that you do. Somebody calls you and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry I missed your call. It's been 200 days and I literally forgot to call you back. It's okay. I understand people that are understanding because I'm very understanding, but there are certain lines you should not cross when it comes to accepting inconsistent treatment. Literally, you accept mixed signals. Any excuse someone tells you, you just like, yeah, it's okay. You blame yourself all the time instead of noticing the pattern. You say, oh, it's my fault, or it's my fault, it's my fault. It's never your fault. Sometimes you have to actually notice the patterns, notice the red flags. If you accept inconsistent...
I agree with that. I agree. You definitely should never accept inconsistent behavior. She's 100% right about that. 100% right. Being inconsistent is a form of disrespect, because that means that they don't really care. So if you notice that someone is very, very inconsistent with you, and every time you call them, they either don't answer, they'll text you back, or they'll say, I'll call you later, and they never do. Yeah, I agree with that. That's a fact.
And treatment, nobody respects you. That's what it is. You think people respect you, but they don't. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you put your foot down and you say, you know what, I'm not taking this no more, people start looking at you different. Yeah, they might look at you as the bad guy, but guess what? They're going to respect the bad guy. When I look at people that get the most respect, most of the time you think that they're mean, but they're not. Literally, they just respect themselves. If this made you uncomfortable, then...
I mean, yes and no. I can understand what she's saying, but at the same time, it's really not that simple when it comes down to it. I mean, some people could just be evil people. Like, and I get what she's saying, that, you know, sometimes you gotta be, sometimes people you might think that they're mean, but they're really not mean, and they just really respect themselves. I get that. But then there's some people who thrive off of stuff, talking like, they just thrive off of things that they have this, it's like a power trip. Like they know certain things about themselves, and if you say something that they don't like, they're ready to dunk on you. So it's just more, when it comes to humans and relationships, it's much more, how would I say, it's much more complicated than what I'm saying and what she's saying. But yeah, that was a great video. If y'all want to finish watching the rest, I'm gonna tag her in this. That was a great video. Shout out to her, man. But the lights went out, so oh man, this is crazy. But I don't want to, because the Wi-Fi went out since the lights went out, and I don't want to keep playing it and then it stops. So either way, but thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all. Trust Talk, you know what it is. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all like the page. Make sure y'all comment. Tell me what y'all think about that, man. Am I wrong? Am I right? You know what I mean? Let me know. All right, I'll see y'all on the next one.